Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Eye on the Ball. I'm Steve Rivera, and you're listening to 1030 The Voice. We have a special show for you today, the final day of the week. I have a couple of dudes in town, in studio, from the Big Brothers, Big Sisters organization. We'll talk sports with them and talk about their El Tour preparation as we are almost exactly 2 months away from that. But we'll talk sports first. I'll have Christopher Gartrell on my left, and one of the guys he's helping Big Brothers Big Sisters, and Carlos Chavez, who is part of the marketing department of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So we're going to talk a little sports first, because a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports today or recently. You guys follow NFL?
Absolutely.
So my question of the day, some people may or may not know this, about Antonio Brown, but would you rather have Kaepernick or Antonio Brown on your team, fantasy or otherwise?
I mean, at this point, I feel like Cap's got a better opportunity getting
better
a job
upside?
than Antonio. Yeah, a little bit more of an upside, right, than Antonio at this point.
And that's saying a lot,
Yeah.
because he's been shunned for years now, 3 years at least. Yeah. Do you think AB is going to be back in the league at all?
I mean, like they, look at the suspension with Zeke last year, right? He got a big suspension and got acquitted of everything and all that stuff. And I think Antonio's definitely going to see a suspension before anything happens. So maybe not this year. Because
True.
After the Patriots let you go, who picks you up?
True. What about you, Carlos?
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see him again. I'm not exactly sure of the timeline, but with a talent like his, I think that a lot of teams, even the Patriots, you don't think that necessarily. I know that they try and take players that have had a storied past and try and change that a little bit, but this one didn't last very long. 2 weeks, a week.
Well, you have teams like that. I'm sure you have more teams like that, but you have the Raiders. He was already part of that.
Yeah.
The Cowboys.
And that's a question right there, Steve.
What's that?
Do the Raiders still have an option on him?
Oh, you know what?
Would they take him back?
Anybody with an ex-wife would not do that. Come on, anybody with an ex-husband would not do that. At least the smart ones. And the Cowboys are the ones in the 3-team lottery. Patriots who take guys like this, Raiders who take guys like this, and the Cowboys who take guys like this, right?
Oh, yeah.
So who next? The Cowboys?
Jerry Jones loves drama, so I definitely see him snagging him.
Maybe he'll try and save some money on Amari Cooper.
Hey.
That's true.
Jerry Jones could do the trifecta.
Right. Make it he's not. I got to disagree with Carlos.
Zeke and Antonio.
I got to disagree with Carlos. I think he's done this year, as well as he might be done for the future. He might make a debut somewhere else, but. Man, who's the guy that beat up his girlfriend in Rice? Was it Rice?
Yeah, Rice did it.
We've never
Rice,
seen him
yeah.
either, right? Ray Rice?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone. We haven't seen him since. This is not to that level, but it's kind of close.
Kareem Hunt is still on kind of a suspension for that. He'll be back later this year, right?
Yeah, with Kansas City.
No, he's with the Browns this year.
Oh, he's moved. Well, that's pretty much out of the NFL.
That's fair.
They're winners now.
Just joking, DK. Just joking. So, Carlos, you honestly think he'll be back, huh?
Yeah, not necessarily this year, but I think that he will be back at some point. I think that somebody will pick him up and take a chance, even though he has that storied past.
Yeah, if anybody wants to call in and agree or disagree with me, that's cool. That's fine. 790-2040. And then this kind of just broke earlier today, how Kansas City is going to get a notice of violations from the NCAA pretty soon.
Kansas University.
Yeah,
It sounded like you were talking about the Chiefs there for a
Oh,
second.
no. Did I say Kansas City? No, Kansas and Bill Self. Apparently he wasn't not involved, but the school itself. Do you guys follow U of A sports? I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do.
And so it kind of everyone's waiting for that notice as well. Whether it happens or not, I'm not too sure, but it seems almost inevitable. It's just like everyone asks me, when's this going to happen? When's this going to happen? I think it's going to be later than sooner. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I think with the whole FBI investigation going back to when that started, there's been so much stuff thrown around, just talk, and we haven't really heard much substantial evidence about stuff coming from the U of A or Kansas or any of these other big programs. It's really frustrating for me as a fan, just knowing that uncertainty, and being a U of A basketball fan. It's tough because you don't know where we're going to be season to season right now, and I trust that the program has done their due diligence and looked into everything and just trying to make sure that we're on the right track, but it's hard just knowing that uncertainty.
Carlos, let me tell you, we don't use big words like due diligence in this show. So you have to watch your language here.
Dumb it
It just
down.
came out.
What about you, Christopher? What do you think?
I mean, it's got to come out eventually, right? Like they did all that work, and they talked about all these schools doing the dirt that these big programs inevitably do. They've got to come back around full circle with something eventually.
Yeah,
right?
at some point. I think Carlos hit it on the head. I think everybody who's an Arizona fan feels that frustration because they don't know when the shoe's going to drop. Is that right?
Exactly. That's where my frustration is. We could be having this amazing season or have this great recruiting class come in, and then it could all just be dropped because they decided that's when they wanted to release that evidence or actually say what was going on.
The question is it going to be a Nike shoe or is it going to be an Adidas shoe?
Well, from the last reports, it was Nike, right? It was
Right.
Nike directly.
Right.
So who knows?
Right. We'll see what happens. A lot of things going on. I'm glad you guys are in the studio. We're going to talk about El Tour and how you guys are getting ready for it. You brought Christopher, Mr. Stretch Armstrong here. I used to look like you, Christopher, before I got married.
Yeah, I think my fiance is listening tonight too. She was really excited, so I'm really worried that I'm going to look like
You're gonna-
Steve in a year. You know? I'm pretty scared.
I'm sorry. I apologize now if I'm a bad influence, but I usually am.
Steve looks great, Jackie. Don't worry.
Yes, for my age. I'm only
For his
100.
age.
From 100. And getting better every day because I'm losing weight.
Boy.
Yeah, it's tough. You guys must work out about, 20 hours a day?
You know, Carlos probably works out more than I do. I just own the gym. You know,
Oh,
and
okay.
I find
That's true.
My excuse is not to work out because
You have to endorse your product,
Yeah,
and that's how
exactly.
you endorse it.
Yeah.
I've got a body built by a sports writer.
Boy.
Yeah, you're probably too young to watch The Odd Couple.
I've seen that.
Oscar Madison,
Yeah.
that's pretty much me.
Okay.
Trying to be stupid on the radio and out of shape all the time.
But you're on the right track, Steve. You got the right color shirt on.
Oh, why is that? Oh,
Well,
blue? Oh, yeah.
Look at his
They
shirt.
got my
I
memo.
noticed the same thing. We were wearing the same thing. You're like, I'm gonna look
But
like
God-
you.
Twins.
God forbid I take the shirts out, the sleeves off. No, good to have you guys. You guys have been diligently getting ready for the tour, right?
Yeah, we definitely
Yes.
have.
And what does that process entail?
Well, spending a lot of time on the bike. So last year was my first year riding it, and I was lucky enough to ride with Carlos and Big Brothers, Big Sisters
Uh-huh.
that year.
How'd you get involved?
Carlos joined our gym last year,
Uh-huh.
and found out that I was riding a tour, and he's like, "Hey, you should ride for our team."
Yeah.
Absolutely, great cause. Got to raise a little bit of money. They loaned me a bike, which was great. I didn't have a bike, so they loaned me that. And the rest was history. We rode it together. It was actually a great event, like an awesome time. I disliked every minute of getting ready for it. I thought it was gonna be a horrible day.
Why? Because it was a lot of work?
Yeah, just a lot of miles. You got to spend a lot of time on
Oh,
the
yeah,
bike. 'Cause,
sure,
that
sure.
day where you're riding for 6 to 7 hours, right?
Yeah.
If you're just a regular person.
100
right?
miles.
Yeah, 100 miles,
Oh, okay.
right? It's a long way.
Yeah.
So I really didn't enjoy the training for it. And Carlos and I, didn't do our due diligence and riding with big
Hey,
groups and
that's
stuff.
twice now. That's twice.
He put it in my mind. I
That
think.
it's you know what? It has to be a biking term.
And just that day, it was an amazing day.
It was a good day,
Oh
right?
my god, it was
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
riding on unicycles and
Yeah.
little kids riding. It was rad.
No,
Yeah.
you see a lot of different things. So I don't want to translate this or compare this to church, but once you do it, and I don't do it, that you kind of feel great after you're done. When you leave church, you feel,
Oh
man,
yeah.
you want to go back. You know what I'm saying? You feel
Yeah.
good. Did that feel the same way?
Certainly,
after-
there was some like accomplishment. It was kind of like a finally, like I'm just glad to be off this bike at this point, right? You're kind of just stuck there and your butt hurts, and
Right.
But it was certainly like an awe-inspiring moment,
Right. That was your first time.
Yes.
Carlos, how many times have you ridden in it?
That was my second time.
Both at 100?
No, the first one was at 36 with another mentoring program I was with
Mm-hmm.
when they had the Oro Valley start.
Yeah.
And then 100 last year, and I'll have to say I disagree with feeling great right afterwards. I didn't feel great right afterwards. I was really sore and tired, and so the next morning I felt great
Really?
and I felt accomplished. And then kind of frustrated because Chris and I felt we took too many breaks, and we finished right around 6 hours 10 minutes, so we were just a little bit off the gold pace, and so I was a little frustrated. And this year I'm not going to be riding, so yeah, I'll have to do it the next year.
So the gold pace is 5 hours is the platinum, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then was it 6 hours for the gold?
6 and under is for gold, and then 5 and under
Oh, okay.
is for
So are you
platinum.
going to try to pursue that, Chris?
Gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've actually got a pretty big riding group with a few riders that are fairly serious and some pretty fit guys and ladies. So I definitely think we have a group that'll pursue like pretty low into the gold standard. Actually,
Right. No, good. That's good. Okay, let's take our first break here, Tom. I have to wake up Tom to change me into a commercial.
What is this with you have to wake up, Tom? You have my rapt attention.
My work is done here. You are awake. Here on 10:30 The Voice. We'll take a break. Thanks, guys. Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 10:30 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera. We'll probably be going back and forth about sports of all kinds of stuff. Arizona basketball, Arizona football. We didn't talk about football, but we'll wait on that conversation. So you have a team writing for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Were you part of a team? How was it last year?
We were part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters team.
But not like this.
Not like this. No, I was the only. Carlos and I were the only members from my gym to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so they really have like their own sub team now coming into the whole Big Brothers Big Sisters team with 14 riders right now.
14 with the hope of what?
They're 14 just for the gym.
Yeah, just 14 from the gym.
Oh, is but that's it? You could have 20 or?
I mean, at this point, I don't know that I would advise anybody to ride.
It's kind of late.
A lot of them are first-time riders, right?
Yeah.
And just like bucket list stuff.
Right.
And we kind of like set some momentum last year. And we just kind of forced people to do like, hey, you're going to do it this year. And people kind of jumped on.
For the 100.
Yeah, for the 100.
Oh, yeah, you're forcing a lot.
Everybody's doing the 100 this year. So, we just want to make sure everybody's prepared enough. Not that, they couldn't do it. They could probably do it with a week notice, but they just be really sore and take a really long time. And we want to make sure they're able to kind of.
You don't want to be liable for that.
Exactly.
They'll feel like Carlos did that after the first event. But that's cool. Right. How much? Obviously, the objective of this whole event is to raise money for, and that's what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Did you raise money last year with you too?
Yeah, so we did raise money last year.
Yeah, we had individual fundraising goals last year.
Yeah, and so with Big Brothers Big Sisters, our minimum to be a rider for Big Brothers Big Sisters is you would need to raise $400. That includes your entry fee into El Tour, which is already almost up to $200 right now.
Yes.
And then you get some other stuff. You get like a Big Brothers Big Sisters jersey, some other swag that we throw into there, and then we put on a lot of brunches and practice rides and other things leading up to El Tour, just so our riders and our team feel together and they're ready to go. Right now, as a team or as a whole, Big Brothers Big Sisters has 59 riders, and we're trying to get above 60 and hopefully even up to 70. That would be great. That would exceed our goal this year.
So what did you have last year total?
Last year we had 42 actually ride in the tour, and this is actually just our third year riding as a nonprofit partner. And so the first year we had 13, bumped it up to 42 last year, and now we're already surpassed that goal. So we're just going to continue to grow and continue to utilize this great event to help spread the word about Big Brothers Big Sisters and use it as a fundraising tool as well.
Sure. And that's pretty good fundraising money.
It definitely is, yeah. So right now, all together with our community partners that are helping fund the team and our riders, we're already at right about $20,000 raised.
Oh, super.
And so the gym on its own has raised over $3,500.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the gym goal right now is 5,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah, something around there.
I think they'll get some more riders.
Wait, you said 3,500?
Yeah, so they're at 3,500 right now.
Yeah.
And so if each of the riders meets their minimum, it would be over 5,000 for their total.
Oh, yeah, that's good. And a good day of hanging out with your buddies.
Absolutely.
Right? And riding. That's cool. So you guys have a ride soon? Like Sunday, right?
Yeah, so we ride as a group every Sunday. We try to get everybody in together on Sunday just to get some group rides in and kind of build some community in like the cycling world with each other.
What's your place at? What's your gym?
Gym 244. It's on Broadway in Tucson.
Right there.
Yeah, right next to St. Ambrose.
Oh, yeah. I know which one it is. So that's good. And how did you convince them to do this?
We just kind of told them, like, hey, you're going to do this. I kind of just picked out people who I thought I could peer pressure into doing it. And I was successful with about 4 of them, and then people kind of just got wind that we were doing it, and that kind of is a little catalyst, and everybody just kind of jumps on like they're doing it, so I want to do it. And before we knew it, we had a dozen riders, which is pretty cool.
So you've been doing this for a while now in terms of getting ready for this year. How many rides have you done?
We started, I want to say I started everybody riding in like August, just like little rides. Just go out on your own during the week, and then we'll meet for like a nice little 15-20 miler on Sundays.
That's what are you guys up to now?
This weekend we're going to do a 50.
Oh yeah, that should be doable.
Every week we're tacking on about 5 miles or so, and we'll probably do like 2 80-mile rides before the tour actually happens.
Yeah. What's 110 degrees when you're at 107,
Yeah,
right?
Right. It's okay.
So, what was your advice to them, Carlos, when you got on the bike or had them try to, or Christopher get on the bike?
Honestly, the gym just has built this community to where you don't really have to convince a lot of people to do things. It's just a really strong community of individuals that are there to help support each other and really just benefit off each other and what they're doing. And so I honestly didn't have to really do much to convince everybody to start to ride. I think that they just saw that some of their friends and people at the gym were doing it, and they all really just wanted to be a part of it and just participate. And so that's really on Chris and just developing that community at the gym.
I assume that you have stationaries, right?
We do, yeah.
And you kind of get on those things
Yeah,
too.
we have a couple that simulate being on a traditional bike.
Mhm.
We have a couple big fan bikes that aren't like that.
Those
at all,
are
but
horrible.
They're pretty bad
Because they're tough to ride,
Real
right?
tough to
I was
ride,
told
yeah.
that today. I thought there was easier, but no, they're tougher.
Man,
No,
yeah.
they're horrible.
Horrible, yeah.
Yeah, so I assume you don't get on them.
I get on them. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
That's why they're horrible.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better at it, but it's not easy.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty. Could you see them somewhere? Maybe they're the cheap ones. You know, where you have the fan in the
Yeah.
front. Is that what it is?
Those old ones that like you're in your grandma's like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
garage or whatever. Those are like
Like-
a fitness. That's a fitness gold mine.
The arm pump
Absolutely,
one.
yeah, with the arm. Yeah, those are great. The old Airdynes. Yeah.
Right. My treadmill is a great clothes hanger.
Yeah. that's what happens. I used to. I tried to buy fitness equipment for my house for a while, and I owned the gym, and it all just collected dust, and I hung
So
clothes
what
on
made
it,
you
so-
decide to do this?
to open a gym? Or?
Yeah, after you bought enough equipment to say, you know, what am I going to do?
No, I was buying equipment while I owned the gym because I thought I wanted to work out at home.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I spent 12 hours a day at the gym and didn't want to touch it when I got home.
Right, that makes total sense. But
Yeah.
it fits, and it seems like the gym would be a perfect place to find cyclists
Of course.
because you do the cardio as well as the. Tell me what you guys. It's the.
We're pretty heavy in like strength conditioning.
Yeah,
we do
yeah.
a lot of strength work. It's mostly just like an effort thing. There's some we really push the culture of there are certain things you can only acquire through effort, right? Through hard work and things like that. And riding a 100-mile bike ride is certainly that. So
Right.
people kind of like jumped onto that
Right.
idea of just like
So has
Something
this
that-
got you to you and others to continue the sport, if that's the right question? You know what I'm saying? Because you guys just don't get up and say, "Oh, I'm going to do 100 miles and I got 3 months to do it." You have to continue it after the fact.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Actually, like I've signed up for a few more races that kind
Right.
of after the tour and kind of pursuing cycling, I guess, this year.
Yeah.
And we have a couple people who are becoming avid cyclists as
yeah.
a result of this.
Yeah. So, Carlos, you haven't taught him what the lingo is yet, apparently.
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
No.
not necessarily.
It's not a race.
No,
It's a ride.
it's a ride.
Yes.
My fault.
Yeah.
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 I
You
signed
probably
up for
haven't
some
been
other ride.
There's a
Yes.
very small percentage that actually race.
Yes,
Got it.
it's the big time people.
Oh.
They think it's a race, but at the end of the day, it's exactly what you're doing for Big Brothers Big Sisters. You're
Mhm.
riding for a
Riding.
group.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be the best or whatever.
No.
You're just out there cruising. But the top 10% of the people out
Yeah.
there want to crush it.
They're racing.
Yeah, they're racing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an ego thing, you know.
Yeah, I can hear
When you're
that.
built
I
like
can
me,
see
you don't have an ego, man.
I don't know. I get passed by guys like you all the time. So don't worry, man. They're on really nice bikes, and I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
I was very humbled this last weekend. We were also doing the gravel grinder
Oh
in
yeah,
October,
yeah.
and we went up to Mount Lemon and dropped down about 6 miles and then rode back up the control road, and that was really difficult. I was very humbled, and now I know I need to work a lot more.
Two totally different things.
Yeah, two totally different things. So, but getting into El Tour and participating in those things has really inspired me to go out and do more, like Chris was saying.
Right. Did you, Carlos, before you became, what was your other, can you mention where you were before Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Yeah, I was with Arizona's Children Association.
Okay, so then you decided then you left them to go to Big Brothers.
Yes.
Were you part of the bicycling program at the other place?
I was the one who started it out for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So did you cycle before you got there?
I did. So I grew up, and my dad has always been a very avid cyclist, road biking, mountain biking. He would just ride all the time when I was growing up, and it wasn't really something that I did until probably after I got out of college. It was something that I did with him for us to go out and mountain bike together and just spend time together, and that's when I really got involved with it.
Yeah, and then it hasn't really stopped.
No, it hasn't. And so there's a lot of ties with El Tour. So my dad actually made the posters and designed them for El Tour. I believe it was like 1996.
Really? What's your dad's name?
George Dworin.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a graphic designer here in Tucson for a long time, and he did the poster for El Tour de Tucson and then the Tour of the Tucson Mountains when that was still going on.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. So I just grew up around the cycling community and just finally got into it when I was older.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that. I know we got to go to a break here at 6:30 exactly, but there's a lot of changes, as you know, having gone to those meetings, and probably for the better. I don't want to, sway your decision, but a lot of cool things going on with a lot of different things that you've been part of, and that will be different. We could talk about that on the other side of this break here. We ready to go? We ready to go there? Tom is telling me he's awake. He's ready to chill. So we'll take a break real quick and come back here on 10:30 The Voice. To Eye on the Ball here on 10:30 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera. So some of the changes, one of the cool things they're doing now is that Race Joy. Do you know much about it, Carlos?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The Race Joy app?
Oh, yeah. So that's so that people can track you while you're riding, correct?
Right. So people can find it he left about 10 minutes or an hour ago, or how far along on the map are they, and where can I find them, how long it's going to take them to get to the final end. They can kind of see where you're at. So
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it's great. I know
So
that.
both your fiancés can find out where you're at.
Yeah, I know that it was like we finished faster than they thought last year. So my mom and my fiance had to rush down
Right.
to the finish line to see us finish.
And then we have like photo finishing at the end of the ride to get you some cool photos and stuff. So that'll be cool. There's a lot of other. What did you notice about it from the last time you were there?
What I'm really excited about is the expo.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to be doing that outside now, not at the TCC. It's going to be a lot more centered around the community and just having people come out and participate in El Tour. And so they're going to have food trucks and music and a lot of different things. They're supposedly shutting down the street right there in front of the Children's Museum.
Right.
Correct, Steve?
Yep.
And then they're going to have bike demos out there and a bunch of other stuff for people to do on that Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday will be set up for the race. So
Right. The ride.
the ride. Sorry, I even got it.
Yes. No, everybody thinks it's a race, but
I just like to go fast, so
Yeah.
that's what I like to say.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. So you looking forward to it?
Absolutely. It just makes it fun that we have a group dynamic and people with some goals. And
Well, let me ask you this: how were you looking forward to it last year at this time?
last year at this time, I think I was still excited. There was like a 2 or 3 week period, I think, where both Carlos and I kind of just found reasons not to ride. We got a little bit busy, right? And we kind of put ourselves in a little bit of a hole. But it's just kind of fun this year because we have people that want to do it with us. Not that Carlos and I weren't going to do it together last year, but there's just more built up around it for us.
So when you have like 14 riders with you, there's no slackers, or you push each other.
Certainly.
Yeah, and you guys were into what you guys are into, the weight training and all that stuff. You guys have there's a competition type of, whether it's out there or not, it's internal.
That little vibe is always there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that's how it is being at the gym, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every day is like that. Everybody kind of comes in and competes a little bit, even though they're not saying they
Right.
always is.
Yeah,
Right.
it was interesting. The other day I was talking after they finished one of their rides, and I was talking with Nathaniel, and he was saying how he didn't realize how easy it is to ride in the back of a pack until he had to get in the front of the pack.
Yeah.
And so just the team dynamics and seeing them learn those things is fun.
Oh yeah, because of the drafting or
Mhm.
Oh
yeah.
man, it's real.
Right. People don't think that's the
No.
yeah. That's what they've been doing this a long
Oh
time.
man,
They know what they're talking
just
about.
find a big fast dude and just or lady and
or-
hang out right behind him.
Or hang out, yeah, and
behind
just
them.
kind of if you can, because it's not that easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I haven't done it. They got me this is how, and I work for them, obviously. They got me a bike about 5 years ago because I was going to do some stories about being on a bike and how cool it was and blah, blah, blah. I'm just afraid of having a flat tire because that's my only fear. That's really the only fear. And then me sitting on the side of the road with everybody passing me saying, could you fix my tire, please? So, that's my excuse.
It's valid. It's valid fear.
Yeah. So you had it?
I got my first flat last year. I think maybe a week or two before the tour. So I got to practice out there, and it wasn't that hard. It was
Yeah. You, Carlos?
I had one flat on my road bike that I got from Uphill into the Wind last year, but that was it. I didn't really have any other issues with that bike. It was good. And yeah, Chris can knock on wood since I'm not riding. So, but the bike that they gave us, and if any of you guys don't know what that is, Uphill into the Wind, they're a nonprofit. And if you want to ride for another nonprofit, they will be able to hook you up with a bike for you to train on and ride during El Tour, and then you just return it to them afterwards, and it gives you an opportunity to participate.
Right. Yeah. No question. I think there's a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things for El Tour, and you guys are doing. Obviously, what you need to do is fundraise. That's kind of like again going to the church, and kind of feeling good of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where does that money go, Carlos?
So all that money really just goes back to programming for Big Brothers Big Sisters. So we serve a lot of youth in the community. Last year we served over 600 youth, and it really goes back into the staffing that makes that possible, making those matches, and then just facilitating the everyday workings of that match and making it successful. So with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Arizona, if some of you guys don't know, what we do is we specialize in one-on-one mentoring. So our mission is to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth in the community. And so really that money is going back to help build the next generation of Tucsonans and people living in Arizona so that we can have a successful economy, a successful city, and just build up the positivity around the community.
Right. And you guys do just a lot of great things in the community with the Big Brothers Big Sisters. How many people are involved with that? Mentors and kids.
So we served 600 youth last year, so that would mean probably right around 1,200, not including, because we have a big couple program too, so there is, that number goes up with the big couples, but at least double 600 since we served 600 youth last year.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of kids. And there's a need, right? I don't want to say a sad need, but an obvious need. Yes?
Yeah, so we have two real needs right now, and these are the needs that we have throughout the year all the time, is we need men. And so men tend to volunteer a lot less than women. Right now, when we get volunteers coming in, it's about 60 to 70% that are coming in are women and 30 to 40 are men. So we have 150 boys on our waiting list right now for our community program. And then for Mentor 2.0, which is a really great high school program, we need about 30 volunteers to work with the high school student. And what you're going to be doing in that program is teaching those kids soft skills that they might not learn in high school or they might not be able to have access to in their home, to where they can get out and be successful and find a job, maybe go to college, just get some idea of post-secondary education, just really prepare them for a career and a successful future.
What's the soft skill?
So really it would be time management, interview skills, what to wear properly to go to a job interview, writing a resume, being able to talk appropriately, not being on your phone when you're talking to somebody. A lot of those things that kids might not necessarily know right now.
Yeah, you just marked about 3 of the things I do all the time.
I do them too. I try and work on it now, but yeah.
Right. Well, you and I were doing that during our meeting, texting back and forth. When can I get on your show? I said, anytime.
Well, that's just because I wanted to get on your show, see?
Yeah. Okay, I believe you. And you're here. See? You see how it works? Pretty cool.
2 days later.
Yes. Yeah. No. It was good. I'm glad you guys are here. So you 14 now. That's about it. You think?
Yeah, I think that it'll cap out at 14. I don't know that I would advise anybody, at least to ride the full, right? Maybe probably we could get some riders that are riding 50 or something 25. Shorter. But
25, fun ride. Come on.
Yeah, 25. Anybody right, that, dude.
Right, that's 10 miles. 25 miles. You probably do that in how long?
Like any person?
Yeah, no, you guys.
25 miles. We probably get that done. Like we're looking to get it done like an hour and 15 minutes.
Just a little. Yeah. Because if you guys go, that's pretty good too. Because if you go 100 and it takes you 5.5,
that'd be a perfect world.
Well, because you're at 6.5, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to be improved.
Yeah.
You can get under 6. That's about 23 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour.
19 miles an hour puts you at like 5.5.
19 miles an hour. Yeah. That's doable. There's a lot of obstacles.
Seemingly, yeah. There's some hills.
I think it's definitely doable. Yeah. But once you get to like 75 miles and you're climbing up Thornydale, it gets tough.
No. It's easy for me to say this because I've never gotten on the bike. But you're right. Yeah. And then if there's a headwind or whatever,
yeah, you never know what the day's gonna be like.
And then you don't get behind that tail, the leaders, or whomever.
Yeah.
Then you're still stuck.
Didn't it rain? I think it rained like 2 years ago.
No, it rained 6 years. It was my first year, 2013.
Okay.
It was brutal, cold, brutal wet. And one of the reasons why El Tour's kind of struggled lately because of the people are afraid of that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we had to kind of rebuild the numbers again.
I get that.
Because it was bad. I can't remember a day like that for that one day.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I just remember when that year that it was raining, and
it didn't stop.
No, it didn't. Yeah.
Do you know what it did? the next day when it was gorgeous. I mean, that's just what the powers that be upstairs said.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll make Sunday look good.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Last year was a beautiful day. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
But most of them are. If there's a light wind, it's November in Tucson. Come on. Don't tell anybody. Well, I should say that. Don't tell anybody because they'll start coming here. But that's what everybody wants for them to come here. You're gonna miss it, Carlos?
I am going to miss it. Like I said, I really want to get that gold. And so if they all ride this year and get the gold, it's going to make me feel even worse that I'm not going to be doing it. But I'll definitely do it in years to come. It's going to be something that I want to participate in more and just try and improve on and get other people involved. It's a fun thing to do and not necessarily even just saying, okay, I want to finish in this time, but just participating in it, seeing all the support from the community that we had last year when Chris and I were riding.
Mm-hmm.
There were people sitting on lawn chairs with signs. Some of them were really funny, just made me laugh. There were people out in their front yards just hanging out, like barbecuing, watching all the riders go by.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a real community event, and it makes you feel good when you're riding to see all those people that you don't know out there cheering for you, ringing cowbells, all that kind of stuff.
It's like a tailgate that you go to. Yeah.
Cool.
So, have you reached out to other gyms to kind of maybe challenge them?
No, we haven't actually. That might be actually something fun to do. I knew there were some gyms in town who had small teams last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be a good idea just to reach out and see.
To reach out.
Me as a recruiter, I've kind of hinted at some people that
these gyms
the gym is doing this and that, and
Yeah.
that's just me as a recruiter and trying to get as many riders for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Right.
But,
Always thinking, Carlos. Always thinking. I like it. Let's take a break here. We might continue this conversation, but we can talk more about regular sports here on the break. Tom, are you awake?
What was that, Steve?
Give me to break, please. 10:30 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 10:30 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera. We'll take the next 10 minutes. You guys want to still talk about cycling? You want to talk about sports? What do you guys want to do?
we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Football. We haven't talked about football.
Yeah.
So you guys are big basketball fans. What about football?
Yeah, I'm a big football fan as well. I'm excited to see
UA football.
U of A football.
Okay,
I
okay.
was excited to see the last game. It's nice to see Khalil running like
you
he
were that
was-
guy.
Yeah. It's nice to see Khalil running and moving like he did 2 years ago,
Right.
not last year. So it's exciting, and it just energized me a little bit seeing the last game against Texas Tech.
I think that's what saved the team that day.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Because once he ran the ball and he did really well, it kind of gave him a boost, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that 84-yard touchdown was a real boost.
Oh, yeah,
He
no
just-
question.
Jumped out on that.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
As far as following football or just enjoying the game?
Yeah, or U of A.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love to watch and love to support. I played football in college.
You did?
Yeah, small college, Whittier College in Los Angeles. It's a Division
Oh, yeah,
III.
yeah. I think
Yeah, I played out there. So I definitely love the game as a whole, and just watching this. Just
Where did you go to high school then?
Catalina High School.
Oh, okay.
Here
So
in
then
town.
you went there to college and
Yeah.
played, what, DB or something?
Yeah, I was a defensive back.
Yeah. What year?
I graduated 2008. I
Oh,
graduated Catalina 04.
Okay, so no chance to play here, obviously, but did you U of A? Because it's a different.
Yeah, different.
So
division.
did you who was back in the day 10 years ago? Was Stoops just here?
I think Stoops had just gotten here.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
04.
Yeah, so you followed U of A as a kid?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris
Dick
McAllister was one
Dick
of my
Tomey.
favorite players ever. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's probably one of the best players ever here.
very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah, so did you don't sound as excited as Carlos does.
Oh no, absolutely no. I just I like to watch the game and stuff like that, and I appreciate it for what it is, but
Uh-huh.
not like not just like a diehard fan as a whole of it. But I love to just watch him play. I love the athleticism and just the game itself.
Cool. And do you go, Carlos? You probably go to a lot of games.
Yeah, I try and go to as many as I can. I used to have basketball tickets, season tickets. I didn't get them this year. But
How much money do you make? What's that?
No, they were way up in the top. And you know how you get U of A basketball tickets? It's
Yeah, it
from a
takes forever,
friend's
yeah.
dad who
Yeah.
gets them from a friend's dad who gets them from a friend's dad, and then you pass the money through 3 different people or something like that because they stay in families forever. So you can't get them very well. But yeah, I grew up going to the games, basketball in particular. I was a ball boy for the team in 96
Really?
and 97 when Jason Terry and everybody were playing. I was one of the ball boys out there.
You're connected somehow, aren't you? Somehow.
No, I just had a very persistent mom who would go to the U of A athletic department and say, okay, he's going to be a ball boy. And I think I was like the oldest ball boy. I was like in 6th grade.
You were 22?
Yeah. Yeah. So I just got lucky to have parents who would help me get those things.
Well, no, because that was the glory time.
It was fun to sit down there on the court, mop up the sweat and everything. And
Yeah.
it was great because you could shoot around in timeouts and halftime and
Yeah.
stuff.
Right,
and you
right.
felt like, wow, I'm
I'm
playing
here.
in McHale
Yeah.
Center.
Right.
And for a
during
kid,
the
that was
glory,
awesome.
like I say, during the glory days, and you had like 14,000 watching you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
going to games a lot as a kid. My mother's been a ticket taker there for like, it has to be like decades, you know. So definitely seeing a lot of games. I used to work at the concession stands in
Oh, yeah.
high school for a really, really long time. Yeah,
Right.
Mhm.
all through high school.
Football or basketball?
all of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
Games.
who's your favorite? You said McAllister, but who's your favorite basketball player?
All
time.
All time. I think Gardner
Really?
for sure. I love him. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're the second person that said that in about a month.
Really?
And it's kind of like out of the blue
Yeah.
because Gardner was good,
Yeah.
second best all minutes and all that stuff,
Mhm.
but not Sean, not one of these marquee guys.
Not really, but he's just a hard worker, man, and like got it done.
Yeah.
He just got it done.
Carlos?
I would have to say probably anybody on the teams from 97 or 2001, those teams in that year. Richard Jefferson would probably be my favorite just because when he would throw it down back then, it
Yes.
was like, wow,
Yeah.
that was fun. When him and Andre and everybody were playing, those were fun years when we would just lob it up all the time and they would just go get it.
Hassan Adams, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
We had some great athletes, and we still do have great athletes. But growing up as a kid, it's always going to be those people. And then Damon Stoudemire was always my favorite when I was a younger kid.
Right. I still think that say and think that Damon is probably the second best player to ever play here. I know that slights a lot of people, but he had a great 4 years, All-American. Obviously, Sean Elliott being the number one guy.
Mhm.
Damon, and then it's hard to say who the third best guy is. And everyone's gonna say Kerr and stuff, but that's not really, not as a player here.
Yeah, if you're looking at
Impactful, yes, not.
pure production and like what
Mhm.
you were talking about with Chris, Jason Gardner has to be up there in the top of those things.
What about Jason Terry?
Jason Terry is amazing too. Him coming off the bench for his first 3 years or so,
Yeah,
and then stepping in 98 after that 97 season and just taking over. And didn't he almost lead the league in scoring?
yes.
Yeah,
What
those
about
things.
what about Mike Bibby?
Mike Bibby was amazing, and I think that for the time that he was with us, he was the leader of that team, and he was a freshman.
So
So
you guys were
it's-
young and you guys smart, and I hate you guys because you're young and smart. Who's better? Who would you take, Ayton or Markkinen?
To play in college, or
To play, who would you? To play in college. Who? Yeah,
oh, Markkinen.
I would too.
Yeah,
I think so as well. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because
I think just in general, better all like just a better player, but
all the way around.
Yeah, just
Now
all the
that
way
you
around.
know,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a better player all around.
apples to apples.
Yeah.
I agree with that because Ayton was fantastic.
Yeah.
Looked the part.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like Superman. Blah blah blah. But Markkinen could do it all.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
and that 3-point stroke, that was like to
Yeah.
see a 7-footer shoot like that.
Right.
It was like, yeah, we saw like Dirk Nowitzki and everybody do that in the NBA, but to see
Right.
somebody here in town do it, like in
Yeah,
person,
that's
it's
right. Yeah, he's gonna have
Yeah.
a nice career.
yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
is.
The only time you saw him disappear was at the worst time, when they lost to Xavier
yeah,
in
Yeah.
that final 10 minutes. He didn't touch the ball,
No.
hmm
and that was not on him. It was just on everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we just didn't get him the ball.
Right. So let me see, Bibby, Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, Gilbert Arenas is great.
Gilbert Arenas was fun.
Yeah, he was crazy.
Yeah,
He still is crazy. You say Andre. Andre was very good. In fact, Luke Walton said at the time that if Andre were to stay 4 years, he would be the best player to ever play here. I
Yeah.
kind of tend to
I
agree.
mean, he's fantastic. Immediate impact in the NBA
Right.
when he got in.
but
and-
Right.
if you think about those teams like Andre and Richard and all those players, a lot of them were not like averaging a ton of points
Mhm.
or doing anything like that.
Yeah.
But they were stars and they went on to the NBA and had these amazing careers. But we had so many good players at that time that they weren't averaging 20 points a
Yeah,
game in
sure.
college or anything
The
like
only
that.
one
so-
close to that was Khalid when he was this,
Mhm.
and then Jason Terry when they needed him as a senior.
Yeah.
But I always say this, and this is kind of a joke but a serious question: who's the only guy to hold Michael Jordan to 16 points in the season?
No
Okay.
idea.
I'll give you 10 seconds. 5
I
seconds.
don't know.
I'm drawing a blank.
Dean Smith. You know why?
Hmm.
He was the coach. So it was a team game. Same question for Lute.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that held the team to whoever, to under
Mhm.
20 points?
Yeah.
Because it was a team game under
Yeah.
Lute. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you didn't have a star. It was everybody was the star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why they're good teams.
Yeah.
Does that make? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of a joke, but it's
Yeah.
true. Because you don't want a guy scoring 30 and the other rest of the guys scored 5.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
You know-
When I always think of that, I think of Jared Bayless and his 1 year with us.
Exactly.
And he was putting up crazy numbers,
Right.
but as a team, we weren't the best team that year.
No, exactly. And it's like Marcus Williams and those guys who wanted to be that guy,
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't that guy. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense. And Chase Bunninger was here as well. But you know, numbers. If you can play, you don't need numbers.
Yeah.
Because you're good.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And that was the case under Lute a lot because, and you could tell the teams that didn't make it because everybody wanted the ball, and those teams don't work. I don't want to say this as an editorial, but you saw, you guys were young, so you saw the Buffalo team 2 years ago, DeAndre and Trier and all these guys,
Yeah.
a
Mhm.
lot of talent, but there's only one ball,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you needed to be more of a team.
Yeah.
And really, Trier made it pretty well, and then so did Dayton, and then really nobody else.
Yeah.
But you guys know that. You guys are in sports, and you guys see what you see. And I've seen it so long that, you know, teams win championships, not individual players. So, hey, thanks for joining me, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
This
having
is
us,
fun.
Steve.
We didn't have to talk about sports all the time. We talked a little about cycling. Good luck raising all that money, close to hoping to get to 5,000.
Yeah, we will surpass 5,000.
If Carlos is involved, you know that he's going to push you to get to 5,000.
Absolutely, I'll donate myself at the end.
In fact, he'll probably have to cancel his wedding just so he can get you over.
I'm always trying to sell something or
He
do
is,
something
dude.
like
I
that.
lo- I
It's-
appreciate
Carlos,
that
I like
about
it. In fact, we're going to be talking about doing some things together too.
yes.
I like it. I like it. Entrepreneur. I like it. Also, we'll call it like old guy and young guy corporation. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for
Thank
I
you for having
appreciate
us.
it. Appreciate it. We're going to call it a week here on 1030 The Voice. Trusted local news and talk.